Let's talk about something most men aren't told enough. There are certain things a woman might say that shouldn't be brushed off. These aren't cute remarks or honest mistakes. They're signals of a deeper mindset. And if you value your time, your peace, and your self-respect, you need to recognize them for what they are. Final warnings. No debates, no second chances. This video is going to break down 5 specific phrases women say that should make you step away immediately. Because here's the hard truth. Too many men today stay in situations where they're constantly disrespected, confused, or emotionally drained. Why? Because they're afraid to lose her, or they've been taught to give unlimited chances in the name of love. But not every person deserves that kind of grace. Some will take your loyalty and use it against you. This isn't about bashing anyone. This is about protecting your peace of mind. Because once you learn how to spot the difference between someone who's genuine and someone who's using emotional words to cover toxic patterns, you stop wasting years trying to fix what's already broken. Some statements aren't just phrases. They're red flags. And when you hear them, you don't argue, you don't plead, you walk. And don't worry, I'm not just going to list lines out of context. I'm going to explain exactly why each one is a deal breaker and what it reveals about her. Mindset. So if you're tired of walking on eggshells or decoding mixed signals, pay attention. This isn't just relationship advice. It's protection for your purpose and your future. Let's get into it. Number 1. I don't owe you anything. Now let's be real. Technically she's right. No one owes anyone anything. But context matters. If you've been consistently giving your time, your attention, your energy, and the moment you ask for respect, effort, or honesty, she responds with, I don't owe you anything. She's not making a point. She's making it clear that she wants the benefits without the responsibility. This kind of statement usually comes out when you try to set a boundary or ask for emotional reciprocity. Instead of working with you, she throws this line to shut down the conversation. What she's really saying is, I want your effort, but I'm not going to give anything back unless I feel like it. That's not partnership. That's one-sided control. A healthy relationship is built on mutual investment. It's not about scorekeeping, but it is about balance. And when someone uses a phrase like this, they're showing you they have no intention of meeting you halfway. Imagine you've been there for her, checking in, supporting her, showing up. Then, the moment you bring up that you feel emotionally neglected or underappreciated, she hits you with, I don't owe you anything. That's not just disrespectful, that's dismissive of everything you've brought to the table. And this is where most men make a crucial mistake. They think, maybe I came on too strong, or she just needs more space. No, what she needs is for you to stop rewarding selfish behavior. A high-value man doesn't beg for appreciation. He recognizes when someone is clearly unwilling to grow with him. When a woman shows you, through her words or actions, that she doesn't value reciprocity, believe her, and most importantly, leave. Number 2, that's just how I am. When a woman says this, what she's really doing is closing the door on growth. She's telling you flat out, I'm not going to change, no matter how it affects you or this relationship. And that's a serious problem. It might sound harmless at first, even a little confident, but if you're paying attention, you'll realize it's one of the most dangerous phrases someone can use in a relationship. Because it's not just about personality, it's about accountability, it's about emotional maturity, and it tells you everything you need to know about how she views the relationship you're trying to build. You'll usually hear this after you point out something that's been hurting the connection. Maybe she's dismissive, emotionally distant, always defensive, or constantly disrespectful. You bring it up calmly, trying to communicate, and she shuts it all down with 5 words. That's just how I am. Translation, deal with it. She's not interested in listening, growing, or even understanding how her behavior impacts you. She's not in this to evolve. She's in it to stay comfortable. And here's where it gets twisted. A lot of men confuse this with strength. They tell themselves, she's just being real. No, she's being rigid. There's a difference between having a strong personality and having an ego that refuses to evolve. The truth is, healthy people grow, they reflect, they take feedback seriously, especially when it's coming from someone who actually cares. When a woman uses, "That's just how I am," as a defense, she's not protecting the relationship. She's protecting her comfort zone. And let's flip the script for a second. If a man said this every time he acted selfish, distant, or emotionally immature, he'd get called out immediately. So why is it acceptable the other way around? It shouldn't be. But too many men have been taught to accept emotional laziness, to make peace with it, to tolerate it in the name of love or loyalty. And that stops now. If you're a man who values himself, you don't stay in a dynamic where one person is committed to growth and the other is committed to excuses. You don't build a future with someone who hides behind, "This is just how I am," every time they're challenged to improve. Because here's the bottom line. If she truly cared about you, if she truly respected what you bring to the table, she would want to grow. She would want to become a better version of herself. Not just for you, but for the relationship. But when she says that line with pride instead of reflection, you need to understand what she's really saying. I don't think I need to change, even if who I am continues to hurt you. And that's not someone you argue with. That's not someone you try to fix. That's someone you walk away from, because the second someone refuses to grow, they've already stopped being a match for who you're becoming. Number 3, I can have any guy I want. When a woman says this, what she's really doing is flexing ego, not connection. She's not trying to bond with you. She's trying to show her value by threatening yours. And that should tell you everything you need to know about where her priorities lie. This isn't about confidence. This is about control. It's a subtle and sometimes not so subtle way of saying, "You're lucky I'm even giving you my attention." Don't step out of line. Now, a lot of guys don't catch the disrespect hidden in this phrase because they confuse arrogance with self-worth. Let's be real. When a woman constantly reminds you of how many options she has, she's not focused on you. She's focused on the attention she's getting from everyone else. She thrives on the idea that there's always someone better waiting in the background. And the worst part, she wants you to feel that pressure. She wants you to compete for her, all while she offers the bare minimum. This mindset is rooted in insecurity, not power. Women who are truly confident and emotionally mature don't need to compare themselves to others. They don't remind you of what you could lose. They don't weaponize their desirability. They bring peace, not pressure. But when a woman says, "I can have any guy I want," she's building your relationship on fear. Fear that she might replace you. Fear that you're not good enough. Fear that if you don't do everything right, she'll upgrade. If you fall for that game, you'll start acting out of anxiety instead of strength. You'll overgive, over-explain, and overcompensate just to avoid losing her. But here's the catch. You've already lost something the moment you tolerate this mindset. You've lost your power, your position, and your peace. And for what? To prove to her you're worthy of her attention. The truth is, any woman who respects you won't need to make you feel replaceable to feel powerful. She won't put herself on a pedestal just to keep you chasing her. When someone truly values you, they don't compete, they connect. They don't remind you of their options, they show you why you matter. So when she says, "I can have any guy I want," what she's really saying is, "I still think I win by making you feel small." And that's not love, that's ego. Don't fall for that illusion. As a man of substance, you don't stay in places where your presence is treated like a privilege she can revoke at any time. You don't play games where your worth is constantly being measured against imaginary competition. You simply walk because you can have any woman who respects what you bring to the table. And that's the mindset of a man who doesn't beg for value. He walks in it. Number 4, you're too insecure. When a woman tells you this, she's not always trying to help you grow. Sometimes she's trying to shut you down. And if you're not paying attention, you might end up questioning your own reality instead of recognizing the emotional manipulation behind her words. Now, insecurity is real. Every man has felt it. But this phrase doesn't typically come up during healthy conversations. It often appears the moment you notice red flags or call out behavior that doesn't sit right with you. You bring up something that bothers you. Suddenly you're too insecure. You set a boundary. You must be insecure. You ask for respect. Wow, your insecurity is showing. Let's be clear. There's a big difference between being insecure and having standards. But when you enforce those standards with a woman who doesn't want to be held accountable, she flips the script to make you look like the problem. Why? Because it keeps her in control. If she can make you feel like your concerns are weak or unmanly, she wins. You'll silence yourself. You'll stop expressing your needs. You'll walk on eggshells just to avoid being labeled insecure. And before you know it, you're stuck in a dynamic where your voice doesn't matter. Every time you speak up, you're made to feel less of a man for doing so. But here's the truth. A secure man doesn't avoid confrontation. He handles it with clarity. He knows the difference between jealousy and genuine concern. He doesn't apologize for wanting respect, loyalty, or consistency. And he doesn't let anyone shame him for having expectations. So when a woman calls you insecure to avoid accountability, recognize the game. She's not helping you grow. She's gaslighting you into silence. A woman who respects you will make space for your thoughts. She won't attack your masculinity. Just because you're being honest, she'll know the difference between control and communication. And she'll choose connection over defense. But if every time you open your mouth, she fires back with, "You're too insecure, you're not in a relationship, you're in a power struggle, and you're the one losing ground," stand firm on your standards. Speak your truth without shame. And if she can't handle that, she's the one who's not secure enough to be with you. Number 5, I'm not ready for a relationship. When a woman says this, most men hear, she just needs time. But what she's really telling you is, I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you. That might sting, but it's a reality too many men ignore. This phrase isn't about timing, it's about interest. Because when a woman is genuinely into a man, she doesn't hesitate. She doesn't wait for a perfect moment. She makes it work. Women don't hold back from something they truly want. They only pause when they're unsure, unbothered, or keeping their options open. The mistake men make is sticking around, thinking, if I just stay patient, if I keep proving myself, eventually she'll realize I'm the one. But what you're actually doing is offering boyfriend energy while she gives you the bare minimum. That's not loyalty, that's slow rejection. And it gets worse. She might still call you, flirt with you, spend time with you, vent to you. You think she wouldn't do all that if she didn't care. But she's not building a bond. She's enjoying the benefits. Your time, your energy, your presence, all without any commitment. Now picture this. After weeks of being consistent, kind, and clear about your intentions, you ask her where it's going. She replies, I'm not ready for a relationship. I just need time to figure things out. 2 weeks later, she's dating someone else. That moment right there, that's the truth. When the man she actually wants shows up, she's suddenly ready. Suddenly timing isn't an issue. So when you hear, I'm not ready, stop waiting, stop proving, and stop chasing. Accept it, not in bitterness, but in strength, because the moment you accept that you're not her choice, you free yourself to find someone who sees your value immediately. A high-value man doesn't beg for readiness. He walks away from confusion and makes room for clarity. When she says she's not ready, believe her and move on. Number 6, if you loved me, you'd... This phrase is a trap disguised as a test. It sounds like she's measuring love, but what she's really doing is pushing guilt and control. If you love me, you do this, change that, give this up. It turns love into a performance, not a connection. Suddenly, you're no longer in a relationship. You're in a constant audition, trying to pass her tests, guessing what the next demand will be, afraid that if you don't get it right, you'll lose her. That's not love. That's emotional manipulation. Love should be empowering. It should be about trust, not fear. But when someone keeps using your feelings as leverage, if you loved me, you'd call more, quit your job, stop seeing your friends. They're not protecting the relationship. They're controlling it. You start shrinking, compromising your identity just to keep the peace. But peace bought with guilt isn't peace. It's submission. Real love doesn't sound like ultimatums. It sounds like understanding, respect, and shared vision. If she constantly needs proof you love her, if every conflict becomes a test of your commitment, you're not with a partner. You're with someone keeping score. And you will always lose that game. A man who knows his worth doesn't jump through hoops. He sets boundaries, listens with strength, and leads with integrity. Love doesn't demand evidence. It shows up in consistency, not compliance. Number 7, you're lucky I even chose you. Let that one sink in. This isn't a compliment. It's a control tactic, a power move dressed up as gratitude, and too many men fall for it. They hear it and think, she values me. No, what she's actually saying is, you should feel grateful just to be here. And the second you believe that, you hand her all the power. You lower your standards. You start tolerating disrespect just to hold on. If a woman truly respects you, she doesn't act like you're beneath her. She doesn't remind you that you're replaceable. She shows you that she values your presence. But when you hear this line, you're lucky I chose you, understand what she's really doing. She's putting herself on a pedestal and putting you on the floor. And the truth is, you allowed it. You gave up your position by believing she's the prize, and you're just fortunate to be nearby. Let's be clear, a high-value man doesn't beg to be chosen. He is the choice. He doesn't chase validation. He stands in his own. When you believe you're lucky just to be in her life, you start overgiving, overproving, and overcompromising. That's not strength. That's self-abandonment. A real relationship is built on mutual respect. It's two people who choose each other, freely, fully, and without reminders of who's more valuable. So if she says you're lucky to be with her, recognize it for what it is, a red flag waving right in your face. Because someone who truly wants you won't act like they're doing you a favor. They'll be proud to build with you. Final thoughts. 2. Many men are wasting their time with women who don't respect them, don't value them, and don't actually want to commit. You're chasing validation from someone who's already emotionally checked out, telling yourself, if I just try harder, she'll change. But here's the truth. She won't. Not because she can't, but because she doesn't want to. These aren't just phrases. They're warning signs. And the longer you ignore them, the more of yourself you lose. Your time, your energy, your self-respect. It all gets drained in the hope that maybe one day she'll see your worth. But a man who knows his value doesn't wait to be seen. He walks in clarity, he moves with confidence, and he lets go of anyone who makes love feel like a battle instead of a bond. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever heard one of these lines? How did you respond? Did you stay or did you walk? Drop your experience in the comments. I read every one because this isn't just about relationships. It's about men reclaiming their strength, their standards, and their voice. Let's get real. Your story matters.